Hey y'all, welcome to Alabama. I am on a road trip down to Wheeler Reservoir of the Tennessee River. I'm trying to do some preparation for an upcoming tournament if I decide to fish the tournament. But I'm fishing an area that's brand new to me, never been here before. Picked out a spot there on Google Earth, found a boat ramp on there, put in, come out this creek, and I'm out here in the main channel now, and I don't know if you can see with the current flow on the video with the glare and all that, but the current out here today is moving. We had some rain this past weekend all over the south, and TVA has ramped up the flow. So at Gunnersville Dam above here, they're running like 94,000 CFS, and since I've never been here before during this amount of flow, I wasn't really sure what the current flow would be like out here in the main channel. So I've come out to check. It's like 1.7 miles an hour. So pretty fast for the type of fishing that I like to do. So what I'm going to do right here, at least to start my day, is I'm going to kind of tuck myself. I'm going to get back over here to the left a little bit and get right on that current seam where the slack water from the creek kind of meets the faster flow from the main river channel here. I'm going to spot lock right there and drop some baits down. I'm seeing all kinds of splashes here, right here at this creek mouth, right out here in the channel just a little bit. I don't know what that is, but it's smaller fish, so whether it's carp or white bass or shad, or I don't think it's shad, it's some kind of larger fish than that. But whatever it is, it's on the menu for some catfish. They will eat it, and there's a bunch of them here. So we're gonna drop some baits down here and see what happens. And if we get bit, great, I'll spend some more time here. If not, probably what I'll do is work back up into this creek a little bit. It seems like the water is higher. This time of year, we should still be in winter drawdown, and it seems like water is well above where it should be. Again, I'm not familiar. I fished this body of water like 3 times, 4 times in my life. Oh, there was something right there. I don't know what that was, come up right beside me trying to get a cameo on this video. But nevertheless, I've fished this body of water 3 or 4 times in my life. My experience is very limited. Never fished here this time of year, never fished here with this amount of flow. So I don't know what to expect. We just out here winging it today, y'all. We experimenting, we see what we can get into. So let's cozy up over here on this current seam, and I'll get our baits ready. We'll drop those down and hopefully hook into something huge today. All right, I'm getting our baits hooked up here right now. This is a big chunk of red horse sucker. I did some cast netting before I came down to Alabama yesterday and lucked into a big red horse sucker. So I want to start out with him. This will be our kind of premier bait, if you will. So there's a big chunk of it. I've got this on a Carolina rig, which is my favorite rig for suspend fishing. It's an 8-ounce egg sinker above a swivel. You've got a section of 80-pound monofilament leader lines, I don't know, less than a foot there probably, down to a 10-aught size circle hook. And then a few inches below that on the tag end, I've got a Catfish Sumo bait stalker fly in the goldfish pattern. This is 40-pound monofilament main line on my signature series Kayak Catfish Golly Whopper rod from Catfish Sumo. I'm going to drop this straight down to the bottom. We're 23 feet deep right here, so relatively shallow here in this creek mouth. Let it hit bottom and then raise it up so that our bait and our rig is down there just off of the bottom. Now on this other side, I've got us the head bait of that sucker on there, and you can see he's pretty good size sucker. The rig, exact same as what I just showed you on the other one. So we'll drop this one down, and I'm going to set here for I'll probably give this spot an hour just to see what happens here, just because it looks really good on a map. Let me show you. You can see where this creek comes out here, 23 feet, water temp's 58 degrees. But out here on Wheeler, you don't have, well, there's bait busted, man. There's fish splashing all over right here in this area. Right there was another one. I think that might have been a carp right there. out here on Wheeler, one of the big differences when you look at the maps from Wheeler Reservoir compared to some of the other reservoirs of the Tennessee River is there's not a lot of feeder creeks. There's not a lot of backwater systems here on Wheeler. Very limited. So when you see a place like this, it's like it kind of leaps out at you on the map. And I know a lot of the guys in our tournament, which is this coming weekend, a lot of those guys I've talked to, they're already planning on fishing the Elk River, which is a major river system that comes in here to the Tennessee River on Wheeler. And so I don't want to fish the crowds. I don't want to go where everybody else is going. So my goal is to try to find some other areas that are fishable with how I like to fish that won't be around, hopefully won't be pounded by not only people in tournament, but recreational fishermen, the fishing guides, all that. I know they're going to be on the Elk River, so I'm going to try to find some other places. The good news is the current flow is really at its peak today. By tournament day, it's going to be significantly less. So that's good at least. Maybe if things aren't working out with whatever plan we come up with on tournament day, maybe it'll be slow enough we can get out there and just drag a ledge and at least get some bites on the main river channel. But anyway, y'all, we're set up now. This is probably going to be an edited video. I've been doing a lot of the unedited, just raw and uncut lately, just show you a start to finish on a trip. But today, with me fishing some new spots and probably going to be moving around a little bit, probably have some downtime as I go spot to spot. I think I'm just going to, we'll film an area, see how we do, then go to the next spot, pick up the video there, that type of thing. So anyway, y'all, we've got our baits out. Now we just sit back, enjoy this beautiful day, and wait on some catfish. There we go, there's the first fish. First one of the day. It's been a long morning, y'all. I've moved spots. We get this one up here, I'll kind of give you the rundown of where I'm at now and what I'm currently doing. This fish here, though, is a welcome sight. It's been a tough day. I've just stunk it up out here thus far, but still got plenty of daylight left. I'm gonna probably fish until about dark today. Just trying to grind and hustle and try to figure out some plan, some pattern of what to do or where to go for tournament day. This fish here ain't gonna win no tournaments, I'll tell you that. But he will end a skunk session for us, so we'll take him. I don't care how big the first one is, as long as we get the first one. Come here, kitty. Come here. You've made my day. Well, you've at least made my day better. How about that? All right. There he is, folks. Old fat dinkity doodah. We'll let him go down there in that muddy water, get us another bait on there, and proceed along. What I've done, y'all, I fished up there pretty good ways upriver. It's about, I don't know, 30-40 minute drive from here where I'm at now up to where I started this morning, and I sat there a while kind of at that current seam off that point there where that creek come in. Wasn't doing any good, didn't have a sniff at the bait. Meanwhile, though, there was a lot of people going in and out of that creek, and I got to thinking about it, like, man, if there's that many people out here on a weekday going in and out, like, it's going to be hell on a Saturday during our tournament. So I left there after not doing good. I drove down here. I launched a pretty good ways back in this creek here and come out to the channel. And down here on the lower end of the reservoir, obviously the current's not as strong as what it was up there. And a pattern that's been working well for me at home recently is getting out on the main river and working the flats, like the top edge of the flat before it goes off down into the channel. And so I thought, I'm gonna try that out here today. Now I've started, when I come out of this creek, I come up here kind of on the edge of the land. The land comes off and then comes out to this flat. And I worked that for a little while here when I first got out here. Been dragging baits now. Not done any good. That was the first fish there. And I actually got that fish when I turned. I was going across now, and I'm gonna get out here toward the original river channel. I'm gonna get on the top edge of it and go on up. a good ways. But that's the first bite so far, and that was on a piece of gizzard shad, a chunk of gizzard shad. So that's going to be the plan for now. I'm just going to keep working my way across this flat. I'm not going to reel up and run out there. I'm just going to work my way across it, fish my way across it, I should say, and then turn and go up, and we'll see how that goes. But like I said, I've got, I don't know what time it is now here. It's 12:51. So I've got a few hours of daylight left. We can tinker around a little while out here on this flat and see what happens. If we're getting bit, great, because it'll be much easier to fish come Saturday as the current slacks off a little bit. But if not doing any good there, probably the next thing I'm gonna do is run back up in this creek that I launched in and try it. Because there was a ton of bait out here at the entrance of this thing, and also out here in along the edge of this flat. Like even right out here on this flat, like I'm seeing fish right up here, 12 feet deep. And with some bigger marks there under it. So there's a lot of bait here in this area. Water temperatures, 60 degrees, surface temps down here. This muddy water is certainly going to heat up here in the sun as well. So we're just piecing it together, man. We're just trying one thing, it don't work, okay, we go on to the next, we try it, it works, it not, well, move on to the next thing. So that's what we're doing. Process of elimination, y'all, but enough of this. Let's get another bait on there and keep making our way across this flat. Take a chunk of this gizzard shad here. It's the body section. We'll throw that tail away. We'll throw the head back in the cooler. We'll probably reuse it again here soon. I'm gonna take this and put it on my dragging rig. This is a 10-aught size circle hook. I've got a 80-pound leader, monofilament leader. A few inches above the hook, we've got a float and a rattle. It's just a 3-inch styrofoam peg float there. That goes up to an inline dragging sinker, up to 40-pound monofilament line, and of course my signature series Kayak Catfish rods there from Catfish Sumo. So we'll start letting out some line on that. I'm not gonna let out a ton of line, but probably enough to keep it 50, 100 yards behind me there. And you're probably not gonna be able to see on the graph. We're 38 feet deep here. You can't really see much. I can't anyway with the glare, but I'm just gonna keep going across here. And once we get out there, we'll see the edge where it drops off, and we'll work that edge on up through there. But anyway, y'all, hey, sometimes the first fish never comes. We done got it, so the skunk is out. Buddy, that one's pulling. Oh, he's taking line. He's taking line. That's a better fish right there. We're still letting out line on the other one over here. This one ate a gizzard shad head. I was pulling the head and the midsection. Yeah, buddy, this one here, a little bit better. We're seeing a bunch of bait on the graph as we go. But I'm actually seeing more bird activity out here toward the middle of the river. And I don't know if it's just maybe the bait out there is a little bit closer to the surface or what, I don't know. But you would think the birds would be back in this creek or out here where all this bulk of the bait we've seen is at, but they're not, and they're the professional fishermen, not me. Yeah, this one here is a fun sizer. He's a little bit bigger. I'm gonna flip the bail over on this other line over here now. A slight upgrade here, folks. It's another bite, which I am certainly happy about. I feel like maybe we're getting on to something here. This pattern has done real well for me back home recently. Y'all have seen recent videos where I've really been on some, not only numbers of fish, but good fish. Kind of out on the edge of the flat. So there he is. I'm not gonna put up the front camera mount for him, although we probably could justify it. Let me get this head that we just cut out of here, and we'll just go ahead and switch it out right fast while we got this up here. Be a good time to do it. Be working efficiently as we can. This bait here, Yeah, it's time to be switched out anyway. This gizzard shad, it's not quite as big as that one that we had on, but it's good and fresh and bloody, so we'll get that one going out. There we go. Close my cooler up. I just flipped the bail over on this one as we were fighting that fish. So, hey, fish number 1 and 2. It took a while to get them both, but by gosh, we done got them. And well, I can't zoom on this camera, and you probably can't see that far away. But out here, the further we get to the middle of this river here, the more debris there is and all them birds around there. And so I'm very curious. Anytime I see birds that are flying around, they're swooping down, hitting the water and stuff, that's a sign that there's bait. That's up near the surface anyway. And oftentimes when you got birds attacking bait from the top, you'll oftentimes find predator fish kind of under those schools of bait as well. So I'm very curious as we make our way on out here what this is going to end up doing for us. But the further we've gotten across this flat, we're obviously getting bit more. That's 2 bites compared to 0 that we had before this. So I'm more optimistic by the second, y'all. Well, there goes another one. Buddy, that's 3 in a row. Very short time apart here, man. There's definitely some fish out on this flat. All right, man. We're on to something. If we can just figure out what to do for some quality, the getting bit is certainly great. We need to get bit today. Break a boy's confidence to drive all the way down here this far from home and not catch any fish. But tournament-wise, we're gonna need some better quality fish than what we've got thus far if we're gonna be competitive and have a chance at cashing. This Wheeler Lake, Wheeler Reservoir, it's a trophy catfish factory down here, y'all. It's known, it has a reputation for putting up a lot of monster fish. And so it's gonna take a big score. Our tournament will score the 3 longest fish. And so I would expect it's gonna take well over 120 inches. It'll take 3 fish with over 40-inch average to win. And these 3 that we've caught thus far, while I'm happy to get them, they ain't gonna quite measure up. So, not yet anyway. You keep eating them shad and growing there, Mr. Blue Cat, and you'll get there someday. We'll come back a few years from now and we'll catch you then, and you'll be as big as we want you to be. He's gonna give us that bait back there, actually. There he is, folks. Old Dinkity Doodah Blue, we'll see you. See you later, goodbye. Now, let's rehook that. I'm gonna throw out that same piece. Oh, I forgot, doggone it, y'all. I've let out about half my reel in line there. It'd be okay. I forgot to flip that bail over. I get to talking, you know me, I get distracted, get to talking to you, reeling in a fish, and now I've done it before where I've been dragging and let out my line like that and completely forgot about it and let all my line go. I've done it, y'all. It's happened. If you say you ain't done it, I'm gonna call BS on it. It's a matter of time, but it will happen to you. But I about done it myself again. Hey, y'all, stay tuned to the end of the video. We got a special guest cameo appearance from Daphne the dog, who you can only see the tail end of right now because she's too busy for camera. But she's gonna make time to race us on her brand new electric bike at the end of this video. So stay tuned. We're gonna put the Movcan V60 Pro to the test against Daphne. Well, let's see if this one will stay hooked up here. You think you will? Another one. A couple minutes ago, come unbuttoned on the head bait. I'm on the kind of the edge of this flat over here now, going off toward the channel. And it really, it's just, you know, we come across them 3 fish there, boom, boom, boom. And I've covered a decent distance of this now and had that other bite on the other rod there. But not a lot going on. I was getting optimistic after them other fish. I'm like, man, we're really about to start tearing them up here, but I think it's going to be just kind of sporadic, just kind of come across them at times, and when we do put a bait in front of them, they're going to hit it. They seem to be, these small fish here, I mean, they're aggressive. I assume the big ones will be too. It's just a matter of figuring out where they're at and getting the bait in front of them. This one here is definitely not front camera worthy. He's disappointed about it too. You can see the disappointment, the hurt in his eyes that he ain't gonna be on the front camera. But you know what? Not everybody can be front camera worthy, folks. My face is certainly questionable whether or not it should be front camera worthy. Let me grab another shad out the cooler here. This is another one here that's probably 6-8 inch range, but we'll take another chunk. I'll take most of the midsection actually. Throw that tail out of there. We'll get this one baited up and we'll throw that head back in the cooler because we will use it at some point when we switch out our other one. I probably need to reel it in actually now and see if it's still got a bait on there after it got hit. They may have ripped it off. That's one of the downsides of using gizzard shad is the fact that it's not the most durable of baits, I guess you'd say. The shad are more likely to get torn off the hook when a cat grabs it but misses the hook. Like they get part of the bait and they start pulling, they're liable to just rip the whole thing off. Whereas something like a skipjack or a white bass, which I don't think you can use white bass in Alabama. I don't think. I'm not 100% certain on that. Skipjack and shad is what people mostly use down here, and they're legal baits here in Alabama. Every state's different as far as what you can and can't use for baits and stuff, but skipjack's certainly a lot more durable bait than the shad. However, I wasn't able to get any skipjack before I left the house. Just like Alabama here got all that rain over the weekend, we got hit in Tennessee too. And where I'd been getting skipjack kind of in the backwater areas, they got blown out. It was just pure mud. I went out there on Sunday thinking I'd load up on bait and drive down here yesterday and fish yesterday and today. Well, I didn't get any skipjack on Sunday. So yesterday I went out, netted shad, got that red horse sucker there that we started with this morning, but couldn't get any skipjack. So I'm hoping with having a few days, I'm hoping that skipjack bite back home, I'll get back on them again before I come back down here for the tournament, assuming I come back for the tournament, because based on what I'm seeing so far today, I don't have a great deal of confidence that I'm gonna do very well in the tournament. So we'll see. We got the rest today. We'll see how that goes, but bait should at least be better for us on tournament day than what we've got today. I don't mind shad, like especially if the water's cold, but coming down here, road trip like this, water temps obviously up to 60 degrees here, surface temps, I'd like to have some skipjack. I'd feel a lot better about today if I had some skipjack, but we're gonna roll with what we got for now. It's getting bit, albeit sporadically and occasionally. It is getting bit. We're definitely getting more action dragging than what we were spot locking or anchor fishing there this morning. So we're getting some bites. So we just got to figure out what we need to do to get a little better quality fish. Something's after our head bait. I actually think maybe he's got it. He ain't acting like he is the type of fish that we want to get though, is he? When you see your rod tip going boom, 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 that ain't usually what you want. When you get hit and it just goes, it doesn't actually make that sound effect noise, but when that happens, you know what I'm trying to say. When that happens, you know you've got a good one. This one, not so much. But I was needing to reel in this bait and check it anyway. And at least now we know there was a bait on there still. We'll switch it out when we get it up here. Even if this fish leaves it on, we'll go ahead and put that other head on. I think I'm gonna work. There's another creek up here ahead of us. I think I'm gonna work past it and see what happens. And then I think I'm gonna run to the back of either this creek up here or the creek I launched in and run to the back and see what's going on, super shallow. I would have thought that the muddy water and sunny temperatures, warm temperatures and all that would have the bait pushed really far back in the creeks. But that creek I launched in first thing, the bulk of the bait was out toward the entrance of the creek. And when I got out here, in this other creek I launched in, there's that fish there, folks. Get out of here. Let's go ahead and toss that head. But when I got down here to this spot and launched in this other creek, I noticed that the farther I got out, closer to the channel, the more bait I was seeing. And so I think that for some reason that the bait is just kind of more out toward the entrance of these creeks and on these flats. And I would assume that the catfish would be somewhere around where the bulk of the bait is. But it's worth checking out. If we're not getting the results that we want out here, and at least quality, I mean, we're getting some fish now finally, but numbers-wise, quality-wise, we're not getting what we want. It's worth at least going back and checking out, getting dirt shallow, and either the creek we launched in or this one up here, and just working it a little while and seeing what happens. We're definitely, I'll show you here. Well, again, I can't hardly see nothing. Maybe it's my sunglasses. We're on the edge here of this flat. It's a gradual drop out to the channel, although it does get a little bit more of a steeper drop as we make our way on up. But there's a lot more debris out here that's working its way downriver. So dragging through this when we get up here closer to it, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. Your lines are going to get wrapped up in the logs and the sticks and stuff. So we're going to have to try to navigate through that best we can. But when the water's up like this and you've had all this rain, when water comes up really fast, all that stuff that's on the shoreline gets put out into the channel. And whether you're out here in the main river or you're back in the creeks, you're going to have to deal with some of this stuff. So we'll work around it and make it work. But I think it's probably best, based on what we've caught so far, unless we just really get on some better quality fish, it's worth going and at least investigating the shallows. Like start out maybe 3-4 feet deep and work our way out in the creek just for a little while and see what's going on. So y'all, I'm about to go through a pretty thick debris field here. All these sticks and logs and all this junk just floating down the water right here. It's a good opportunity for us to make a change. So I'm gonna reel up everything. We'll switch out our baits. I'm gonna run back up in here. I don't know if this is a creek, a cove, a pocket. It's not very long according to the map. I pulled it up on the Navionics lake map. We're gonna run back in there, go to the very back and drag our way out of there, assuming that it's not like right here, which we're gonna have to get out of the way of this one. That's a big log coming right here, folks. Let's get out of the way. You gotta really watch yourselves out here when you got all this stuff floating down river. That's a big log. You get the current speed pushing. I think the wind is pushing down river right now, and so it's moving this stuff at a pretty good clip. But you don't want to get hit in a kayak with this stuff. We'll reel up everything real quick and run back in that cove, and good opportunity to make a change here right now, since we're going to have to. What am I on here? Have I got a fish? I've got a fish. Let's reel in another fish right fast. I thought I was snagged or something. Turns out I'm snagged on a fish, so I went to pick this thing up. Yeah, we'll go see what's happening in the shallows, and then see how that goes. We'll make a decision from there for what we try next. Normally, I'd like to, if I had more time to dedicate, I would really take each technique and put a lot more time into it, but we have one day to get ready for this tournament because the wind is going to be ridiculous tomorrow. And I'd like to make sure the day before the tournament that I spend it getting the freshest bait possible. So we got today. We just got to make it work today and try to gain as much information as we can as far as what we need to do and where we need to go. We know we can catch fish out here doing this, but unfortunately they've all been that size right there, which it's a decent fish. I mean, it's a quality fish, but it ain't gonna win you no tournaments out here, unfortunately. So anyway, we got our lines in. Let's navigate through this slop right here. I think we go this way. We go through the right. I think we can kind of get through and around this stuff. You gotta, again, be real careful, folks. And when you're fishing in flood conditions, which out here, even where we was at there earlier on where we come out there in the channel in that other creek, the current wasn't super bad. I mean, it's 1.7. if memory serves me. So, I mean, it's not super fast, but still, if you're fishing another river and the water comes up and you got a lot of crap floating downstream, you keep your head on a swivel. Make sure, especially if you're anchor fishing with like a actual physical rope and anchor, that's when things can go bad. You have a tree come into your kayak and you can't get free from your anchor rope, that's when things can go south in a hurry. So we ain't gonna have no problems out here today as far as what we're doing, because we're gonna be going into the debris, so I'll have eyes on it the whole time, and we're not gonna be using a physical anchor and rope today, no matter where we're at or what we're doing. So anyhow, I'm going to run us back here into whatever this is, creek, cove, whatever. Like I said, it's not very long. We'll go to the back of it and work our way out. Oh, that one's gonna take a little line. All right, folks, I've come back here to this pocket, and I started about 4 feet deep, and I sat there and I spot locked. I gave it 10-15 minutes, no action, so I come on out, dragging about 1/2 mile an hour. And I got up here, I'm 16 feet deep now, and I started marking some larger marks on the bottom, like under, there's this pocket's full of shad, and they're under that. So I come up just above where I'd seen them marks, and I hit spot lock again. And I've been sitting here a couple minutes, and this one just went down. This was on the gizzard shad head. I'm still using a dragging rig, but I was just sitting there at the time. Yeah, he's gonna be about the same size we've been getting, unfortunately. It was encouraging though to see those larger marks as we were making our way out of here. The wind, the way the wind is blowing, it's blowing perfectly to come back in on this area, like it's pushing this direction. And there's a ton of shad back up in here. And I thought there might be some cats. I mean, water temperature 62 up in here, so it's a couple degrees warmer than out on the main channel. So we'll see. We're going to just slowly make our way out. I'm going to sit here a while longer, see if we get bit. If we're not getting any more, other than this little fella right here, another fat dink. We'll go ahead and throw that back out. But we'll just slowly, incrementally, backlash myself. I'm talking to y'all, not paying attention. Boy, I done it good then too. Look at that mess. Well, that'll take a minute to pick out. Oh man, I done it good, y'all. When I do it right. I'll pick that out in a second. But anyhow, that's gonna take me a minute. That's awful. Geez, man. But like I said, the wind is blowing in on this area. It's blowing to the back here. Tons of shad all the way back in this pocket. So I thought, run to the back of it, 4 feet deep, cast out, set there, nothing, drag forward, mark some fish, spot lock again, that rod goes down. We'll sit here a little while, however long it takes me to pick this mess out, and then we'll just keep slowly making our way out. We see some more fish, we'll spot lock, and we'll just make our way out. But you can see this, now there's some more debris going by. I hope that ain't about to get in my other line here. But the wind is blowing in perfectly on this area, and so when you got a real windy day or a few days and the wind's blowing consistently in one direction, if I'm going to go fish shallow somewhere, I want to go back to where the wind's been blowing in on, because it will blow the food and the shad will follow, and then bait fish or the big predator fish will follow after that oftentimes. So it's blowing perfectly for me to want to come back up in here. But boy, that mess right there. I shouldn't, y'all done that. I shouldn't let y'all cast that daggone thing. I've never backlashed in my life, but look what y'all done here. I gotta blame it on somebody. I'm gonna blame it on y'all. Let me get started picking this mess out. Well, we got something working right here. He hit it a couple times. No, I think he's still on there, by gosh. I think he hit it and was coming at me. I've come out of that creek there. We just got the one fish and the backlash from hell that I had to cut that daggone thing. That's the worst backlash I have had in ages, y'all. I ain't ever giving y'all the rod to cast again. But anyway, I made my way out. I just kept trolling, come all the way across that flat. And I thought, well, if we ain't done no good shallow, and we got a few smaller fish up at kind of the top of the drop, why don't I come on off to the deeper part? So I'm over here, I'm 50 feet deep right now. I'm working up the main channel ledge. I apologize if there's wind noise on the camera, y'all. It is absolutely cranking. It's 20 plus when it gusts, and it's going right into the microphone right now. But I thought, I'm gonna come over here and work the bottom of the drop on this ledge and see if there's any better quality over here. And we just got this one, although he ain't gonna be better quality, but it's another bite. Let's see what we got here, Blue Kitty. You gonna give us the bait back at least? I just switched it out a little while ago. I'd like to have it back, please and thank you, sir. Yeah, I'll take that back. Yeah, still looks good. Oh, he's got a crooked tail. Look at that right there, folks. He's got old crook tail. That thing's been broke at some point. Get on out of here. He thinks because he's got that crooked tail, he deserves some front camera time, but it ain't happening. All right, well, let's send that back down. Yeah, I'll show you here best I can on the graph. You can see we've come off the drop here, 50 feet deep. Water temperature's a little cooler out here, 59, but I'm gonna work that ledge, the bottom of it there. I'm just gonna cover it and go, we've went 4 feet deep, shallow, all the way out to here, and really it was kind of on that flat there was our best action, but nothing of any good size. We got to find some better quality fish, y'all. That's the thing. Like, I mean, somebody, and you got a tournament and you got a bunch of people, somebody's going to put up a big score. Like, it's inevitable. Somebody's going to find themselves in the right place at the right time, like it's going to happen. And I don't have any confidence based on what we've seen thus far that person's going to be me. And if I'm going to fish a tournament, I want it to be me, by gosh. So we're going to keep looking, hunting, keep doing what we're doing out here. The wind is definitely picking up, and out here, of course, we're more exposed to it. I have resealed my hatch liner because typically when I take a little water over the bow, and it's not too bad right now, but when it really gusts, I get water inside that front hatch. But I've resealed that thing, so I'm hoping it's keeping that water out. I hope. We'll see. We'll see when I get back to the car today. We'll see how much water's in this thing. But yeah, I'm gonna keep doing what we're doing, man. The dragging has caught the most fish. When I was back there in that creek, you know, I was stopping periodically when I'd see fish, set there, spot lock. We got that one, and that was it. So otherwise, I think being on the move is the ticket to getting bit. It's just a matter of finding the better quality fish, figuring out where they're at. We looking, by God. We're gonna find them, or we're gonna run out of daylight trying, I guess. All right, y'all. Well, the tournament will be the next video, but we got some competition that's about to happen right now. Cause me and Daphne the dog, who is too busy to be on video right now, she's got stuff to go see over at that part of the yard apparently. But nevertheless, me and her, we about to have a race on her brand new bike. She has been sent the Movcan V60 Pro model, and we're gonna put it to the test, folks. I'm gonna take a couple minutes here, do the full walk around, talk about all the features, and then after that, me and Daphne, we're gonna put it to a speed test. We're gonna race this thing. Me and her, we're gonna start over at them power lines, go all the way down the hill, around my property, up the fence line, and around the house to see who's the winner. Daphne the dog, we call her the baby cheetah because she's never been beat. She's outrun all of these electric bikes that we've had in the past. Regular viewers, you know, we've gotten a few, but we're gonna put it to the test today and see if we can beat her with this one. So again, Movcan V60 Pro. It's a sharp looking bike. I love this style, this moped style of electric bike. It's just more comfortable. In addition to looking cooler, I think they're a more comfortable ride because, you know, I'm not a typical bike rider. You know, I had a bike as a kid, but I didn't carry that into teenage years and adult years. So I had went a long break from riding it as a kid until I got my first electric bike there 2 or 3 years ago on this channel. So when you're riding and you're in a bumpy terrain, which my yard, you'll see when we do the ride, it's very bumpy. This moped style with the thick padded seat, it really gives you some cushion down there in your nether regions that take a pounding on this bumpy terrain. So I absolutely love this moped style bike. That seat, in addition to the suspension, really takes out the bumps. It makes for really a smoother ride. Now this bike here, it has a 1500 watt motor on the rear wheel there. That's a brushless motor. It's powered by this lithium battery, and this battery, it comes off the bike, so you can physically remove it from the frame, take it inside, charge it if you need to, or you can just leave it on the bike and charge it via this charging port here. Your charger just plugs in right there to it to refill the gas tank, if you will. Nice thing about these electric bikes is the fact that they're electric. No oil changes, no gas, no nothing like that. Just plug it in. Whenever you're ready to ride it again, you got a full charge. And this bike here, if you want to go electric only, which is what I do, I'm not much of a pedaler when it comes to these bikes. I twist the throttle and go. It's got 40 miles of range, just electric only. Now, if you use the pedal assist, which you can adjust the pedal assist with this plus minus button here on your left handlebar, go up to 5 levels with the pedal assist. But if you want to use that and pedal with the motor, you can get up to 80 miles range. So very good distance, very good range for such a small battery compartment size there. But the display screen, I've got it on right now. We've got it on pedal assist number 5, but it shows your speed up top. Your battery life indicator is there. That again is your pedal assist. And then you've got your odometer, which you can see this bike here, brand new. Just got it put together, so we're literally at 0 miles right now. Handlebars, just like a normal bicycle, you can turn your headlights on and off here, which it does have a really large headlight up front. It also has a brake light in the back, so if you're riding it out on the road, and especially if you're in low light hours and you need to hit the brakes, really that LED light will really shine and let people know that you're on the road, make you more visible. If you want to ride it like a regular bike, you can. It's got 7-speed Shimano gears, but again, I'm gonna twist that throttle and we're gonna fly, buddy, by the seat of our pants around this yard chasing that dog who's, again, still too busy to come over here
and be on video when the camera's rolling. But anyway, y'all, again, this is the Movcan V60 Pro model. Very awesome bike, looks amazing. I'm excited to hop on this thing and try it out. So y'all holler at Daphne, get her to come over here. Now let's put this thing to the test. Are you ready? Set, here we go. It's on, y'all. Down the hill we go. She's off to an early lead. Woo, we're going fast. That's 29 miles an hour down the hill. I gotta lay on the brakes. Daphne, she ain't never laid on the brakes in her life. She's full speed ahead, 24 hours a day. She's in the lead right now. We only dropped to 13 coming up the hill there. That's pretty good. Most of these bikes struggle on the hills. This one done pretty good. Daphne's cheating right there. Oh, she's distracted though. I'm gonna catch you, dog. Oh, we're in the home stretch. She's gonna beat us again. Oh, dog. Dog, why don't you just let us win one time? Now she's gonna attack the tires here. Look at her, she's an animal. Well, folks, the baby cheetah remains undefeated. That dog is unbeatable. But this bike though, man, it did good running around the yard through the bumpy part of my yard. I know the camera is probably going to be bouncing around there on my chest, but as far as a comfort level, what I was experiencing on the seat and the suspension and everything, it felt really good to me. It was a comfortable ride. Coming up the hill there, one thing that almost all electric bikes struggle with is they struggle going up hills, especially the steeper hills. This bike maintained its speed very well for that hill down there, so impressed with that as well. But again, this is the Movcan V60 Pro. I'll have the information, website, promo code, all of that listed down in the video description, so y'all can go check it out there. But yeah, y'all, fun bike to ride. Unfortunately, I remain winless in the bike races against Daphne the dog, but it don't take away from the fun of me riding these bikes, and they are fun. Getting out here and chasing that dog, man, it's good exercise for the dog, and it's fun for me. So y'all check them out, Movcan. Thanks for sending me and Daphne the bike. We love it. I'll see y'all in the next video.